guys. As always.
Uh-oh, don't drop it.
Let me just plug this in.
You're good.
Alright guys, do you want to tell everybody your names?
I am Danny.
I'm Cameron,
And who are these three?
Jackson, Wyatt, and McKenna.
How old are you, Jackson?
5.
You're 5. How old are you?
How old are you?
3. Good
You're
job.
3. And how old are you?
15 months.
15 months. And all of you, these children have had some kind of vaccines, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, important question to you both. The fact that now that you've woken up to vaccines, you will now be labelled an anti-vaxxer, which you are not, because you vaccinated your children, you are ex-vaxxers. So my question to you is, could I have called you an anti-vaxxer when you were pregnant with your eldest child? No. Let's get that one straight
Nope.
before we go any further.
Not even with my youngest child.
So what did you think of people who did not give vaccines when you were pregnant with your first?
I'm not even gonna lie, I was awful. I was one of those pro-vaxxers that was like the epitome of a pro-vaxxer. That was like, you can't tell me anything that
On
I don't
Facebook?
already know. Oh yeah.
I love you.
I would post all of those articles and I look back and they'll be on my timeline and I'm like, oh, it just hurts. Like, I can't even,
So what did you do? Like literally think people that didn't vaccinate were
like
dangerous?
Yeah, we're like screwing the planet, and I was all, you're not gonna have play dates with my kid if you don't vaccinate.
Oh, you were one of them?
Yes,
She
I
was
was one
bad.
of them.
So they couldn't come to your house and play with your kids unless they were fully up to date?
Well, if I knew about it. I didn't stand at my door asking, but I was one of those that made it very clear, like, if you don't vaccinate, I don't want your kids around my kids. Yep.
Okay, so
I know. Eat my
so
words.
I met one of you scary. You are scary.
Yeah, I know. Now those people scare me.
Well, so now you know that all of us did. We did vaccinate, and then because of our the injuries, and I presume that's why you're sitting here.
Yep.
But you know what makes me so sad is that you were so brainwashed, either at school or through your parent, whatever it is, to believe what we now know is to be horrific lies. I mean, horrific.
Yeah. No, we were told, I think it was mainly doctors and stuff like that that convinced us of how scary it would be to not be vaccinated and how high our chances would be that our kids would die of a vaccine preventable disease. So we just
Went ahead.
okay.
Right, so your eldest child, which one is the most injured? I can't tell.
Middle.
So your eldest,
The one screaming.
they're fighting. So does your oldest child have any injury at all, or was it just
He
the middle
did,
child?
but we didn't connect it at the time. Now that we have done our research and know what we know now, we suddenly started putting the timeline back and going through his medical records and going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When he was born, he was perfectly fine. As soon as they gave him his Hep B vaccination, that night I went to go in and take a shower, and he was premature, so they shouldn't have even given him Hep B at birth. And I went in to go take a shower, and I came out, and all these nurses were in the room, and he was holding him, and he was blue and choking on vomit and all this other stuff. And it was probably 30-45 minutes after getting Hep B, and we never connected it, but he would vomit and vomit and vomit profusely from birth.
And when you told the doctors, look, he's vomiting, what did they say?
It's just reflux.
Is it
He
normal?
was losing
Did he
weight.
use the word normal?
Yeah, normal. It was totally normal. Never
We
connected
thought,
to vaccines.
we thought it was a normal child. Like, until we had our second kid,
We didn't realize
we
how
didn't
not
realize
normal
how
it was.
not normal the amount of throwing up that he did.
I mean, you're
was.
talking like 5-6 times a day. We have pictures of my mom like covered in vomit from when she would
There's
babysit
a
him.
period of time that he threw up 38 times in 3 weeks.
And they said, oh, it's just a stomach bug.
What? Does that make you so mad now?
Oh, yeah. Nobody ever suggested, like, hey, maybe you should stop vaccinating. Because with everyone, I would say, you know, he keeps getting sick. Maybe it's just a weird, like, his body reacting. They would tell me, oh, it's normal. It's just what they're supposed to do after vaccination. Like, that's his body working and fighting against everything that he's not supposed to get. And he got diagnosed with gastroparesis at, what, 2?
2.
Which is not normal. Like, you don't get gastroparesis for no reason. Usually, like, diabetics get gastroparesis, where your stomach can't empty. And sure enough, just a couple months into stopping his vaccinations, and not on purpose, because there's a big gap between 3 and 5, he stopped vomiting completely. And now he's normal. He doesn't have gastroparesis anymore.
So your second child is the most injured from vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
So when did you guys wake up to this whole vaccine thing? Because all 3 of your children are vaccinated.
Well, I wish I could say that it was directly after he had his first reaction. But when he was 15 months, he went in for his MMR. We delayed all of their vaccinations. We're talking about the second child now. Yes. We delayed all of their vaccinations. Even from Jackson, I had some sort of intuition that was uncomfortable with vaccinating all at once, so we did delay. We delayed the most, actually, with Wyatt at the time. He only had one at a time, so we knew it was MMR. And this kid was totally normal, more advanced than Jackson, even, because Jackson had all of his issues. He was way advanced. Walking at 10 months, talking away, like he had 10 plus words. And I just found videos of him to prove, like, I had to prove to myself, like, he was normal. He interacted with me, kissed me, everything. At 15 months, he went in, got his MMR vaccination. And we noticed after his vaccines, he would scream his head off. And he would run a little bit of a fever. And he's not one to run fevers, like, at all. None of my kids are. And we're like, okay, so we would call the doctor. They're like, it's normal. They'll scream for a couple days. They're fine. But his screaming was, like, horrific. And then at 15 months, he got his MMR, screamed his head off, fell asleep that night, and woke up, made no eye contact with us at all. Like, woke up and he was gone. It was like a light bulb just turned off in him. And we tried to have him give us kisses like we were doing before. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't say a word, wouldn't babble, wouldn't talk, wouldn't walk, wouldn't anything. He just stopped. Like, everything that he was just disappeared. He was gone. But, of course, they said it was normal. They said, well, some kids regress. That's just the way it is. Well, then all of a sudden came the sensory issues. And then it was like he couldn't stay at one thing when he got evaluated for more than 4 seconds. He would go to play with the toy, and he'd push a toy and be on to the next thing. It was like 4 seconds of not being able to focus on anything at all. And he then at 2.5 was diagnosed with autism, and we were taken so off guard by it.
Break your heart.
We knew he had sensory issues, because by that point it was like he was uncontrollable. He would run in front of a car. Like, there was no stopping him. Wouldn't answer to his name, nothing. He was not the kid he is today. He's come a long way. But he was not talking. They told us they didn't know if he would ever talk. They couldn't even finish the whole autism evaluation because he was so just all over. Temper tantrums, losing it, couldn't focus, nothing. And then the doctor convinced us to vaccinate him again at 3. And in my heart, I knew it was wrong.
So what did he have at 3?
He had Hep A, because he was delayed.
Just Hep A?
So he shouldn't have had any at 3. But she convinced me. She was like, well, Hep A has no side effects.
Do you even know what Hep A is?
I have no idea. She just convinced me it was very necessary and that it was a non-controversial one. There was no way he would react to it. About a few hours after he had made so much progress, so much progress. He had started talking and everything. He stopped, and he was gone.
After the Hep A?
Hep A. He was gone again. And that's when we knew there was no denying. We already had our daughter.
Did you, that person who told you there's no way he can have a reaction from Hep A? Did you go back and speak to her?
Yeah, I told her, I was like, he had this reaction, blah, blah, blah. Here, go sit down.
And what did, because Hep A is a little bit of diarrhea, if anyone's wondering.
I had no idea,
yeah,
honestly, at the time. None at all.
Suzanne told me that.
Yeah, none at all. She basically just said, oh, well, that's really bizarre. We've never had adverse reactions to Hep A before. Like, that's strange, but we'll delay them for you. And I was like, no, we're not delaying anything at this point. And I told her, like, we're halting all vaccinations for all of our kids. And the funniest part about this is my now 5-year-old was going into kindergarten, and we went in and we refused the vaccinations, and they look at me and go, how's he going to get into kindergarten? And I said, well, we're going to use a religious exemption. She's like, well, do you know a rabbi? And we're like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you need to have a rabbi who will sign off and tell you that...
Oh my gosh, is everything okay? Baby just fell downstairs. Are you okay?
She's good.
Pix, did you see that? She fell downstairs.
Why?
Oh my gosh, wait for it to squirm. There you go.
You're good. You're good.
Oh no.
Oh, the joy of having 3 children.
Tell me about it. I'm sorry that happened.
It's okay. It's not the first time
She
for my
literally
children.
fell downstairs.
Luckily, it was only 2 steps in the bottom part cut. But yeah, with the Hebe, she had said, or we fast forward to him. She was like, yeah, you have to know a rabbi, and they have to like confirm that you religiously don't believe in vaccinations. And I was like, that's not how it works at all. I was like, have you researched religious exemption?
Also, it's nobody's business what your religion is, by the way.
No, I know. And she was totally stumped, and I said, no, we already took care of that. We got online, we did the Tennessee form, and we signed it off and got it notarized and put it into school. No problem whatsoever. And she was in shock that you could even just do that. And every visit, it'll be a question about, are you deciding to vaccinate? It's not been pushed, thankfully.
Is the baby happy now? Did you make the baby happy?
Yeah.
Good boy, Bill. Good job.
Yeah, so ever since we learned how not informed doctors are and nurse practitioners, both alike. And ever since we have detoxed him, he has come a very long way. Yeah. She is our by far most advanced child, and she's our least vaccinated.
Now, how many?
child.
So when did you stop vaccinating her?
6 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's still a lot of vaccines.
Yeah.
But are you having more
But
children?
it was delayed, so they weren't even really a whole 6 months of vaccination.
Have you stopped having children?
I think so for now.
Well, if you have one more, then we can do the real proper vaxxed and partially vaxxed and then unvaxxed study.
Yeah. No, I mean, if we had one more, it would be from the beginning, nothing at all.
And vitamin K to you is as dangerous of any of these vaccines.
We found that out too. I had no idea at the beginning about vitamin K, and when I was actually, we just had this conversation the other night. We had no idea how much aluminum was in it and how dangerous it was.
Wicked stuff.
Yeah.
I still can't get over that you were one of those trolls that says, sorry, but you were a troll.
Yeah. I know, I totally was. I'm like, I'm
You're
my
an
worst nightmare
ex-troll.
now.
I love it.
I'm not even
Welcome.
gonna lie. I would get in those battles, like battles
You
with
did?
anti-vaxxers. Like you're the reason all of these diseases are coming back. I was one of those. Like I will not even lie. Anybody on my Facebook page, hi guys, I know you see me right now because I know you can call me out on it.
They're loving you. Actually,
Yeah, no.
you're getting love from
No,
a lot.
I know. No, my friends know. Like I was very pro-vaccine, so to see me turn this corner actually has made a huge difference in other people,
It's
which
sad
has
though,
been amazing.
isn't it? That we have to learn to
It
our
is.
children.
It really is. But in a sense, I'm not happy it happened, but I'm happy that so many people have woken up because they did see me go from this crazy pro-vaccination, you need to vaccinate your kids, to this sudden like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. Here's this study and this study and this research and everything else. But this one has 30 plus words at 15 months. No regression. I mean, they told me what happened to Wyatt was completely normal and there was no stopping it. It was genetic. And also, after we chose to not vaccinate, I demanded the MTHFR mutation blood work. And sure enough, every single one of them has MTHFR. His type is different than these two. But we didn't know anything
Well, of course you
like
didn't
that
know.
until we researched.
Well, how do you both feel about, you see, when you were this pro-vaccine troll. Say it one more time. Sorry.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's like making me.
Yeah, he wasn't that. I mean, he was very pro-vaccine, but he was not vocal about it like I was.
No, but okay. So
I'm
you.
very vocal about my.
And now you've joined our side, so all is good. But now I've completely forgotten what I was going to say because I was so into calling you a troll. So much fun. Oh yeah, no, seriously though, guys, this could have been prevented. Your boys didn't have to. It's such a big, awful lie that's affected our babies.
And I mean, I'm thankful that we stopped when we did with her because I'm convinced it would have been the same as what happened with Wyatt. Like, it just, both of them had such serious reactions. Jackson's I didn't recognize because it happened from birth, but we didn't do Hep B with them at birth. And they didn't have the same issues when it comes to gut issues and stuff, but we've had, other issues. She had the same reactions as Wyatt where she would scream and stuff like that. I know in my heart that if we wouldn't have stopped when we did, she wouldn't be the way she is right now. Like,
It's just really, the whole thing is just really sad.
I mean, it's sad looking back at old videos of Wyatt and knowing that vaccines took that child from us. Like, we were watching an old video of him. I actually have it.
Are you frightened of that they make a chicken pox or something?
No. I mean, I survived chicken pox, and I truly think that most of these viruses are beneficial. If you look into measles, they help prevent cancer, different forms of cancers. I mean, they're all treatable diseases, really viruses, in the U.S. Like, we have clean water, good sanitation. We're in a first world country. There aren't really lots of deaths when it comes to these viruses. These are things that so many people grew up having and benefiting from. But with this increase in schedule, it's like you see the increase of childhood cancers and autoimmune diseases and deaths and things that you just didn't see a long time ago that are just popping up now. And I can't imagine if one of my children ended up with cancer because of a vaccination.
And that's what we're hearing from. We're hearing from the parents who tell us now their child was fine till they got vaccinated and they have cancer. They know. The parents know. Parents know what happened to their children. It's awful. I mean, the health of the unvaccinated, unreal.
Exactly. That was the other thing is we're seeing how much, how healthy our children are not being vaccinated anymore. When they were being vaccinated, we kept coming home with these stomach viruses that would last months. Don't touch the camera. That would last months. And I mean, you're talking on and off stomach viruses. They'd be vomiting for a couple months on and off, and we didn't know why. And we stopped vaccinating. We haven't had that issue in our house. It's been a totally different story after stopping.
Now, have you lost friends over this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have plenty of friends that are like, you're obnoxious and your posts like are too much. But the amount of people that we have had truly touched and had them question vaccinations after we've changed our stance is amazing. And I will say, like, half our family doesn't agree with us. I mean, thankfully, like, my mom and stuff got to witness it because she was living in our house when Wyatt went through everything he did. So as soon as we connected the dots, she was like, I see it. Like, I totally understand it. But not everybody feels that way. I
feel like you guys need to have another baby. Because then you can show your family. Okay, now this is a study. Everybody watch, same parents.
Oh, so
this is what we do. And then you need one more because you've got to complete the vax study.
Have babies
and then it's proof. They can't argue with
studies. It makes sense.
Obviously.
But yeah,
and they agree. They're saying they agree. One more baby.
I mean, they're pretty amazing, and they're pretty amazing and fantastic, and knowing that I can control their health really is incredible. And doing I mean, when you're anti-vaccination too, it seems like anti-vaccination.
You're an ex-vaxxer. Very important.
You tend to research more about what you can do to help their immune system naturally, and it's amazing what it does for them. Probiotics and vitamins and it's crazy. I used to call those crunchy moms like these insane people.
Yeah.
And then I became one.
Well, I think we all were.
Yeah.
I was so pro-vaccine. I think I'd be working for Merck if Billy hadn't got affected.
That's how I feel. I mean, I was truly like 100% like, this is what you should do. And I don't care if you think your kid was vaccine injured. They probably weren't really vaccine injured. It's probably just coincidence. One of those, correlation isn't causation people. But I ate my words.
Me too.
I mean, I'm so happy that they're coming out with big studies now that are showing the aluminum adjuvants, are being linked to autism. But still, we still have those people plenty of times that say vaccines don't cause autism. And vaccines, there's no proof of them harming people or hurting people. And you actually interviewed a friend of ours she was part of the reason we also chose to completely stop vaccinating.
Really?
When
Who's
she lost
that?
her daughter, Taylor. She in Iowa. She lost her daughter, Avi, at 4 months.
Oh, awful.
But yeah, she was a part of our story too, and I walked the road with Sally, who you just interviewed. So it's been an amazing journey, but at the same time, it's sad that we connected all through losing a child or
I will
having
tell
an
you
injured
this,
child.
if there's no benefit to us, and I'd rather we never all met, but you will meet the best people you've ever met in your entire life, and they're for life, these people.
Yeah. No, and I respect those who continue to vaccinate. I know that you're, trying to do what's best for your kids, because I've been there. I loved my kids then just as much as I do now. I just know better. And I will admit I didn't listen to anybody. No matter how much proof they gave me, I would write it off. It doesn't matter how many, great studies you showed me, I wouldn't have changed my mind, sadly, until this happened.
Well, it's it's an honor to meet you, actually, because there's something really, maybe you and I had a fight one day on Facebook. Who knows?
It could be. You
Who knows?
Probably. I was one of those people.
Yeah, and maybe I did the same, but before social media, to someone verbally. I don't know, because I can't remember. But all I know is that where we are now, we're friends.
Yeah.
We're part of a family. All of us.
It was very humbling. It brought me back down to realize you can never, ever, ever judge another person for what they do, and you certainly can never say you'll never do something, because my parenting to when I had Jackson compared to having McKenna is like night and day. It's just totally, and I feel bad because Jackson got the I don't know what I'm doing and I'm trying to do my best and I know everything type mom, to McKenna where it's like I've learned, unfortunately.
And gluten-free. You're now a crunchy mother.
Oh, it's true.
Or whatever that means. What else was I going to ask? They just asked a question. I can't remember what it was. Guys, what was the question you just asked? I was going to ask. They wanted to know, some people want to be your friend on Facebook. Now, you don't have to be their friend.
Oh, I'm fine with
So
that.
what's your name on Facebook?
Danny Jaden Hammer.
Okay, spell the whole thing.
DANI space JAYDEN. Wow, I almost forgot my own name. So many kids. Hammer, like the tool.
Okay, so there'll be some of our peeps going over there to friend you. I think you're an amazing family. I'm sorry you guys were lied to, like we all were lied to. But onwards and upwards. There's loads. Your children are young. There's so much that can be done to improve, improve everything.
That is the great thing. Detox really works. He's proof of it. The kid that they didn't know would ever talk. 2 months, 3 months after detox and some therapy said, "I love you, mommy," for the first time. And when he was diagnosed, I cried to him and I said, the only thing that scares me about this diagnosis is I'm afraid I will never hear those words. And when he said them, it was like, and I have it on video because I would video him every time I would say, "I love you, Wyatt," in hopes I would get it back. And one day it finally happened and I have it on video and I'll never ever forget it. Never, like I still play it because it was the most amazing thing. But he's still autistic and he always will be. But he has come so incredibly far. Like he's done amazing things since we stopped vaccinating and started listening to what we knew we were supposed to be doing. It's
At
and
least
it was
you
always
got
in our
them.
hearts, you know.
You got them before the HPV Gardasil.
It's sad. It was always in my heart that something was wrong with vaccinations, and I think my defensiveness came out the most because something inside of me knew it wasn't right. I mean, I delayed vaccinations from the beginning, so something I knew wasn't right, even though I fought for them.
Well, these guys are sending you loads of hearts. You're getting hearts going across the screen. Hearts going, it's like they just love you. So we look, we're grateful to have you in our family now, and we've all got each other's backs. We all take care of each other's kids. You need us, we're there for you.
Well, we appreciate that.
And the family will come round. Family and friends will come round in the end, because unfortunately they'll either wake up or they'll have an injured person themselves.
Well, thankfully no one shunned us yet. We're lucky enough to not have family say, well, you're insane completely. But
Okay, well, let me know when you're pregnant.
I don't think McKenna's interested in being a big sister. You wanna be a big sister? No,
it's a finished.
No. Mm-hmm.
As Kent would say, it's a lock. Okay, I get it. Okay, we're going to come off now. Your children can sign the bus.
Oh, yeah. Wyatt just learned to spell his name, so.
Perfect. Okay, off we go.